Silver the Hedgehog has been an enigma of a character ever since he was introduced in the franchise back in 2006. Gone by many names: Weedhead, White Boy of the Year 2006, Potential Man, Silver's always been a constant favorite of mine, even when I was a kid. I didn't get to play Sonic 06 until I was around 10 years old or so, but just his very existence was cool to me. But that didn't seem to be the case with the community. That is, until something happened very recently. This piece of art was created by a very talented user on Twitter who goes by the name of Korn. They're an artist I've been following for a very long time, and somehow this single piece of Silver fan art lit a fire under the belly of the Sonic community. Seemingly overnight, Silver's reputation had changed from Potential Man to, okay, well, it's still Potential Man, but come on!
You gotta admit, this is cool!
It's been a long time since I've seen the Sonic community come together in unison like this. Especially with how divided we all seem now, quill debates, momentum slurs, and things of the like, it seems like everyone's come together to celebrate what Silver specifically could be. Again, still making him a Potential Man through and through, but I think it goes to show how much potential Silver truly has compared to the rest of the core cast of Sonic. The 2020s have been a revisionist era of sorts for Sonic, as Sega and Sonic Team have been desperately trying to fix the things that went wrong with Sonic all those years ago, and it can all be traced back to one game in particular. We're going to be going over the past of Silver, how he came to be, how Sega tried to make him the next big thing, and how his present can ultimately shape his future. My name is Dylonic, and this is the untapped potential of Silver the Hedgehog. Silver's very concept as a character actually never started at Sonic. Traced beyond Sonic 06, Silver as an idea came from a cancelled game called the 5th Phantom Saga. Where the 1st through 4th Phantom Saga went remains a mystery to this day, but it seems that the 5th one has joined its non-existent brothers in just not existing in general, as the game was unfortunately cancelled. The game was supposed to feature a protagonist that had telekinesis-based abilities, and once the game had been scrapped, the idea went over to Sonic 06. Many ideas were thrown around the character during development, even thought to be a mink at one point, but the team ultimately decided against it. With hundreds of revisions, even one claiming Silver from space, his final design was landed as the Hedgehog we all know and love today. And honestly, I think Silver's design lands among some of the best the Sonic series has produced today. His name was originally supposed to be Venice the Hedgehog to represent the city of the same name and the area that Soliana is based on, but was later changed to Silver to further align the trio theme that Sonic Team had in mind for Sonic, Shadow, and now Silver. Silver's design not only stands on its own, but it perfectly stands as the completion of the Hedgehog trio and represents the themes he carries. Of course, Sonic and Shadow were not created for Sonic 06 in particular, but their origins and very idea in Sonic's case elevate the themes of this game. Shadow, a ghost of what once was, someone who's lived a lifetime of grief and yet does not let his past define him. Bathed in dark and warm hues, he's the perfect mirror for Silver specifically. Sonic living eternally in the present, making the best choices he can here and now, appreciating every second he spends alive. That is who Sonic is. And Silver, the shining ray of hope that keeps us going. Despite seeing everything ruined around him, he still has a sense of childlike wonder and whimsy that further nails down the hope he carried within him. The hope that the future can change, which is something that all three Hedgehogs share in common. I like to think that Silver is a mirror of Shadow, both coming from very similar backgrounds, their introductions being all about vengeance, yet having a very similar personality at heart. They both want to protect what's closest to them, and this is why Silver is such an interesting character to me growing up. Despite being very similar to Shadow in his upbringing, they ended up on different ends of the spectrum with their grief. Shadow wanted to destroy the world for taking away the ones closest to him, while Silver managed to cling on to the hope that something out there can change what's in front of him. Where Shadow became jaded and hostile, Silver gained naivety, as shown in his first meeting with Mephiles.
Just as a flower comes from a seed, or a chicken comes from an egg, everything has an origin.
Tell me, do you know who it is?
You know, usually when a stranger talks to me like that, I run away, but I don't think Silver knows any better. This is where Silver's story begins. He travels back in time to destroy Sonic. In Robert McKee's book called Story, there's a quote that is absolutely essential to character writing. True character can only be expressed through choice and dilemma. How the person chooses to act under pressure is who he is. The greater the pressure, the truer and deeper the choice to character. This is the perfect blend of show and tell in media. The more extreme the pressure, whether it be physical or verbal, shows a character's true nature, and we, the audience, can gain a better understanding and appreciation for said character. Silver can say he's gonna kill Sonic all he wants, but when Amy puts herself in Silver's way, he hesitates, unable to hurt the person who's shown him nothing but kindness. Amy was the first person Silver had met in the past after he got separated from Blaze, and it was even in their first meeting that we see Silver's true character shine through. He's not meant to kill anyone. The moment he saw Sonic leave his view, he could have just blown Amy away and chased after Sonic, but instead, he didn't. Amy was the perfect choice to tag along with Silver as his introduction to the past, as while she might be crazy for Sonic, her heart is in the right place, and at the end of the day, is a very good person. Just upon meeting Silver, she was more than willing to help him, despite knowing nothing about him nor his mission. So when she lunges herself in front of Sonic to save him at the expense of Silver not achieving his mission, telling Silver that she has so much faith in Sonic to choose him over the world, it causes him to question things. He's not a bad person, not in the slightest. If that were the case, he would have just ended both Sonic and Amy right there and saved his future. But instead, he sits down and questions if killing someone is the right thing to do if it means saving his world. At that moment, it seems like the solution was right in front of him. The very kind stranger Mephiles pointed Silver towards the very source of everything that had caused him pain his entire life. But when someone opposes him, he crumbles immediately. Every nugget of character info you get about Silver, said or unsaid, tells you that he's not meant to be a killer. He just wants his world to be safe. He has this childlike wonder attitude as he roams Soliana for a little while, seeing the beautiful world he never knew. After learning the truth of Solaris and that Sonic isn't actually the reincarnation of a certain Austrian fellow, he makes the choice for himself to save his timeline. He chooses to become a beacon of hope for his future. This is who Silver truly is. He wears his heart on his sleeve no matter what, and even though it may be to the detriment of others from time to time, his heart is always in the right place as he's someone who always wants to do right by his friends.
Sonic! No. You don't think...
Sonic!
Even when Sonic was killed by Mephiles at the start of the final story, Silver was the first one to bring up solutions.
No, I won't give up. There has to be a way. If you say it exists in the past, present, and future, I'll destroy them all at once!
He had never lost hope, even when despair was staring him right in the face. Silver's story is by far the most compelling out of any that you'll see in Sonic 06. I know this is a hot take, but I really do like 06's story. Even with its flaws, this story brought us some of, if not the greatest moments we've seen of the Sonic cast to date, and damn it, Silver peaked here, didn't he? Yeah, it's not a mystery that Sonic 06 was an absolute failure on every front known to man. Hell, I'm sure God has made fun of at least kissing Sonic at some point. Regardless of how good this game may have been in elements, not the gameplay. I'm not gonna tell you that the gameplay was good at all. The sum of 06's parts came to be an absolute disaster pile set aflame by not delaying the project whatsoever.
Say that again?
After this, Silver took a huge backseat as well. I mean, he was something new brought to the table with 06, and that game sucked! Gotta throw him out even though Sega deliberately set him up to be one of the big three. And you know what? Let's just throw all of Sonic's stupid friends out to usher in one of the worst eras to be a Sonic fan ever. I mean, the 2010s era of Sonic was good in the moment. Colors is a great game. Generations is a really good game. Oh yeah, Silver was in that game. Being a Silver fan sucked in the 2010s. Well, it still sucks. Silver would have absolutely no prominent roles in any Sonic game thereafter. Don't try and convince me he was important in Sonic Forces. Trust me, we'll get there. It's not like Silver was completely absent though. He made some appearances in the Archie comics. In the Olympic Games. Alright, you're really pushing my buttons, Sega. Sonic Rivals? Hey, fun fact, I can count on my hands how many times a Sonic fan has ever cared about Sonic Rivals. Where'd they go? Silver's importance tanked post 06, and I mean at the time, it was hard to blame Sega after how they made a crime against humanity in game form, but still, something more than a cameo would have been nice. Okay, now you're really pissing me off. Silver and Sonic Forces. Yeah, he sure was. I don't even know where to begin with this. Sonic Forces is a whole nother can of worms I'd love to open in an hour-long retrospective someday, but the way they did Silver was just plain dirty. When Sonic gets taken out of commission, all of his lovely friends except Blaze need to come together and save the day without him, and Silver is here. I mean, that much could be said about just about every character in this room, but if you're autistic about Sonic like me, Silver's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. You wanna know what I mean about untapped potential? The title of this video, this is what I mean. Silver went through such an engrossing journey in Sonic 06. His reason for coming back to the past in this game has to be insane, right? I mean, it only took Eggman 6 months to take over the world. I can only imagine what it would look like in 200 years. Not even sure how time travel works in the Sonic universe, but I'm sure it doesn't work at all since Silver's inclusion is never explained in the game. He may be an optimist and a realist, but a time travelist was somehow lost on his resume. He even has a very short scene with Infinite before getting absolutely swamped for no reason, which somehow, that one scene gave Silver more to do in the story than characters like Tails or Amy. Sonic Forces is just a mess all around. Anyway, that prequel comic. These were short comics that can almost be counted as comic strips for how short they are, no more than a few pages long, that cover a lot of the plot holes in the main game, how Infinite met Eggman, the prequel to Shadow's prequel, and most importantly, how Silver... well, this comic doesn't really do anything to further Silver's involvement in the story. I'm sure Ian Flynn did all he could to salvage whatever the story was trying to tell in the space that he had, but good God, all this comic does for Silver is, allowing him to warn Knuckles that, something bad is happening, and that's really about it. I mean, that's literally the word Silver uses to describe how his future got cooked. They spend most of the time fighting a copy of Chaos created by Eggman to test out the Phantom Ruby's capabilities, and that's where Silver's involvement ends. It's really sad to think about that beyond Sonic 06, in the near 20 years since that game has come out, Sonic Forces is the most Silver has had to do since then. There's a reason he's called Potential Man. He showed so much promise in his own debut game. There were so many places in which he could go and characters he could interact with. Silver acted best as the anchor to tie everyone down and not only bring them back to reality, but to give them the hope they need to continue forward, as he had done so many times in his own future. We're halfway through the 2020s, and all Sega has been doing in terms of the Sonic franchise is damage control for the series. Tales 2 was specifically created to set a lot of things in order when it came to Sonic's world and its characters, and the games are no different. The story in Sonic Frontiers acts solely to reintroduce you to the core cast of characters and set them up for new journeys moving forward. Same thing with Shadow Generations, as that was far more on the nose about Shadow's reintroduction as a character and where he might be headed in the future. My only hope now is that Sega will do the same for Silver. Not in a Lost World port, do it for like a Heroes remake or something. Sonic's storytelling in terms of the games have been slowly getting back to the ambition we were used to seeing over 20 years ago. The very core of Sonic's cast has been properly reintroduced, and I think it's Silver's time to be brought back into the public eye. Sonic Movie 4 is on the horizon, and it's no secret that time travel is going to be a major element in the film, which is Silver's whole thing, so I think it makes a lot of sense to bring him back at least at some point. Silver's future is uncertain, but I'll say that his potential as a character is unrivaled in the world of Sonic, mostly just because we haven't seen much of anything about him beyond one single game. And it's not like there isn't a market for Silver either. The crazy movement that spawned on Twitter over Korn's art is just crazy amounts of proof that Sonic fans are yearning for more of this character. Overnight, I'm seeing multiple new art pieces based off this hypothetical ruined future concept, incorporating new characters like Sage into the mix, seeing wonderful mock OSTs, and multiple fan games just spawning out of nowhere just because people are so interested to see what Silver can do on his own. If that's not potential, I don't know what is. I know people are going to get on my ass about this if I don't mention it, but I know Silver is a prominent character in the IDW comics, at least for a time. This video was meant to highlight the mainline side of things in particular, as the comics mostly cater to hardcore Sonic fans who care enough to consume other media than just the games. Yes, I know they're canon, I'll get to them eventually. It's the games I mostly care about, but I am very aware of at least a few cool things he does in the comics. I plan on going through and reviewing each IDW arc one by one in the future, future, and I also plan on doing more character videos like this, so if you're interested in any of that, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video, and comment down below what are some things that you would like to see other Sonic characters do in the future. We're really interested in finding out. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and I would love to see you all there. But that's all I got for you today. My name is Dylonic, and I will see you all in the next video. Take it easy, and stay fresh.